They said, what? Man, y'all won't believe this shit right here.
With Kelly Swoop, I'm JB Costello, and police are asking for your help tonight trying to locate a Howard County teacher. 31-year-old Laura Wallen was reported missing on Monday. Family and friends have not heard from her since then.
ABC2's Mallory Sofaste is following the story tonight. Mallory, do police suspect foul play in this case?
They wouldn't say whether they suspect foul play today, just that they are concerned. Family members told police that this is very out of character for Laura Wallen. She's a well-liked teacher at Wild Lake High, and she's several months pregnant. She reportedly sent a distressing text message to her family.
It is troubling that
They started investigating. Wallen was not at her home in Olney. In the meantime, police are urging anyone with information on her last whereabouts to contact them, or if they've seen a black 2011 Ford Escape with the Maryland tags M522473. Again, police are concerned for Wallen's emotional and physical welfare, and they're asking for the public's help. The principal at Wild Lake High School sent a letter out to the community yesterday morning. Students were made aware of Wallen's disappearance. The school crisis team will be available to speak with students and staff.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Ghosts Paranormal. A little bit different type of video today. So y'all might be wondering why it is that I showed you a news clip from the murder of Laura Wallen that happened in 2017. So the reasoning behind that is that I was actually watching a YouTube video a few days ago, and after the video was over, I got up and walked away from the computer, and as you know, YouTube will continue and play a different video. So the next video that it randomly chose was some top 5, top 10 paranormal video. And I just happened to sit back down in front of the computer, and I saw a clip of this Sam and Colby video where they investigated a place called Forest Haven. And they mentioned that Forest Haven was in the state of Maryland. So I was like, that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. So I went and I watched the video, and then I did a little research on where the place was. It turns out Forest Haven is an abandoned insane asylum that is located about 2 or 3 minutes away from Fort Meade. So a little peek behind the curtain into my personal life. I actually was a member of the Maryland National Guard, and I also worked for the Maryland National Guard full time. And I spent a lot of time over there in that area. I also went to Fort Meade a lot. So I know a little bit about the area. I'm not as familiar with it as I am around here where I live at, but I do know a little bit about it. So I started looking into this video, and the video was done as a collaboration with another group called the Ireland Boys Production. I've never heard of these guys. Most people have never heard of these guys, which I find absolutely strange considering that they have 5.39 million subscribers. So I watched the Sam and Colby video, and during that video, they claim to have heard a scream. Now, I'm not here to argue about Sam and Colby. I could care less about Sam and Colby. I listened to it. I watched it. I'll put a clip of it in here somewhere so you guys can see it. I can't tell if it's a real scream or if it's not a real scream. I'm not going to argue that point. So Sam and Colby fans, I mean, do what you will, but I'm not after them. What I did notice was that the Ireland Boys put out their own video, and I went and I watched their video, and their video was pretty much around the same as what Sam and Colby's video was. However, they also released another video about this investigation, and it wasn't really an investigation. It was more of an exploration. They didn't do any investigations there. They released another video about this exploration video and that they have done with Sam and Colby. So that video is called We Witnessed Murder. This is where Laura Wallen ties into this whole deal, because during the time frame that Sam and Colby and the Ireland Boys filmed their video, at Forest Haven, Laura Wallen, who was a pregnant school teacher that taught at a high school in the area, was actually murdered and buried at a location. The purpose of this video is to point out that the Ireland Boys made a video about a year ago where they claimed that they witnessed the murder of Laura Wallen. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. And I'm going to show you why. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to pull up their video and we're going to do a little reaction to it. We're going to listen to what they have to say. And then when that video is over, I'm going to show you why they're basically full of shit and they're lying. So here we're going to go ahead and jump into that video.
These sirens. Get the fuck out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. I've never heard anything like it to this day.
There's a helicopter and it has searchlights.
All right, so you could see the little clip there of the scream. Again, I'm not here to argue whether or not that was a real scream or not. They noticed, or they mentioned the helicopters. This area is not super far away from DC or super far away from Baltimore. It's not uncommon to see helicopters with searchlights in the area. I frequented that area for about 2 or 3 years. And I was there for about 10 years in a town called Catonsville, which is actually right next to Baltimore. Search helicopters are a normal thing there, unfortunately. It's not anything special. It's not anything to freak out about. If you're not from there, I could see where they might get a little freaked out. But it's nothing out of the ordinary for that area, unfortunately.
We never thought we would be making a video like this, and at the time, we had no idea what we had even witnessed.
This is the story of the time that we witnessed an actual murder.
So again, I'm here to tell you that that's absolutely not true. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you why it's not true and why it's absolutely impossible for that to have had happened. So we'll get into their story and let them tell their story.
This story began in September of 2017, nearly 6 years ago, when me and Ricky met Sam and Kobe for the very first time at Playlist Live in Washington, D.C.
We were known for our crazy overnight challenges, and they were known for their adventurous exploration and haunted videos. So we came together and decided to film something insane. And insane it was. They came up to us one night at Playlist Live and said, why don't we film at the Forest Haven Insane Asylum, located right outside Washington, D.C.
I honestly don't know how we got people to explore like something like this.
We just met the Ireland Boys Productions last night.
We saw that they like explore videos just like us, and we're like, dude, we don't want to do this alone. Can you please?
Note the fact that they say it was 6 years ago. So I mean, these guys look way younger than what they do currently. I just wanted to point that out.
Please come with us.
From the beginning, this place was sketchy. We weren't even into the insane asylum, and we were already seeing signs saying no trespassing.
And that says no trespassing. Government property trespassers will be prosecuted. So I think we're in the right place.
This is probably really bad.
But we're stinking savage, boy.
All right, so also wanted to mention that Forest Haven is, like I said, it's an abandoned insane asylum. This day, like during current times here, that place is very heavily guarded. They have security there. Police patrol the area pretty heavily. They're trying to keep people out of it. I had actually wanted to go there. Becky had actually mentioned it to me multiple times about wanting to go there, but after doing some research, she was the one that discovered that that place is actually very heavily guarded. It seems that during the time that they were filming their video there weren't any guards. I mean, I didn't see any in either one of their videos, so I'm not exactly sure, but I know now today that place is very heavily guarded, which is kind of sad because I really wanted to go check it out. But as I like to say, it is what it is.
And the backstory to this place was even crazier.
The story behind the insane asylum is that it was open and they kept putting people in the asylum, but they ran out of money and they couldn't take care of them, so they slowly started dying, and over 100 people have died here. After completely disregarding all the signs that were telling us not to enter and to go back home, even with knowing the whole backstory of this place, we decided to all go through anyway. And let me tell you, this was no easy task getting to the insane asylum, especially without getting caught. First, we had to go through a forest. Once we get beyond these trees, there's open land, so we have to run quick. Once we made it through the forest, we had to go through a side building. It wasn't even the main insane asylum. Once we were there, we had to...
All right, so I'll show you after this video exactly where they were. I will show you where they began their video at, and where they had to go to actually get to the asylum. It's dramatics for a video. It's not really that bad. I mean, they had to cross a road, and then once they went through the woods, they had to cross another small road to get to it. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, again, it's dramatics for a video. You know, I get that.
Scale a couple of walls and go through a couple different corridors. Then we made it to a main road. It wasn't where a lot of cars were going by. There was no cars, but before we entered, we read online that security actively patrolled this place, and we could see them on either end of this road. So we had to sprint past this road, hoping that no security saw us, finally making it to the main insane asylum.
What I will comment and say is that after watching both of their videos, neither one of them show that there's any security anywhere in the area at all. If there was security, I definitely would have showed that in my video, you know, to prove the point, and they didn't. I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm just saying they didn't show it.
He made it. That's it, bro. The door is wide open. At this point, our spirits were still high, and we were just trying to have a good time while filming the video and exploring the building. We're gonna try to get in somewhere. We're gonna walk around the building. We still have
Always
no
have
idea
your
how
rock
to get
juice.
in, but I'm sure we'll find a way because Savage. We explored for hours and hours until the sun went down, and we saw some pretty crazy stuff, like this doll with this bloody eye and a bunch of leftover supplies from when this place used to be a functioning insane asylum.
Look how guarded these were. Prisoners here, they weren't able to even, like, that's how crazy they were.
Did you notice what you said there? Prisoners. Why is it with mental disabilities they literally treated them like prisoners?
The weirdest part is that they put blinded.
I also would like to add that I've not done the research on the backstory of the actual asylum. That's not really the focal point of this video. Maybe in the future I'll do a little research on it, and maybe I'll put out a little side video and talk about the actual place. But the focal point is what's going on in this video, as you'll see here in a few minutes.
Deaf people around here.
Yeah, dyslexic people, like literally just minor mental. Like, can you imagine being locked in one of these doors and just literally rot to death? What happened?
I heard that too, you heard that?
It's like a little girl giggle, right?
I'm not even kidding, bro. Like, I'm being serious. This is where things took a turn for the worst. As we were exploring the insane asylum, out of nowhere, we start hearing police sirens.
Police, 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 police.
Wait.
Oh, we were exploring. Wait.
Should we get the f out of here?
All right, as I'll show you after this video, they're near a pretty large major highway. It wouldn't be uncommon to hear police sirens coming down the road. And you can hear police sirens from a pretty far off distance. So I will go out on a limb here and say that had absolutely nothing to do with them being where they are, and that the police were not coming to their location.
Just slow.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Police sirens.
And they start getting closer and closer and louder and louder. And immediately, we all turn to one another and start saying, yo boys, this might be it. We might be getting caught. We gotta figure a way to get out of here without getting caught. So we slowly make our way downstairs and try to escape the asylum, but we ended up going too far down and going to the basement. So we had to come back upstairs, wasting valuable time. And when we finally did find the exit, as we were exiting the insane asylum, we saw 3 people walking towards us.
All right, so I wanted to add here that those of you in the community that are watching this video, you know exactly what's going on here. Those of you who may not be in the community that are watching this video, what they're doing is building up, basically like trying to rile everybody up and make people think that, you know, they're in apparent danger when they're not in any danger at all. Again, like I said a minute ago, the police are not coming to their location. They're probably out on the highway heading to another place, and you can just hear the police sirens in the background. But it's going to get a little bit more dramatic here in a minute.
There are people right in front of us that are not Colby. Yeah, you can't see them on camera, but they're literally walking right there.
So we all tucked away underneath the grass and hid. 2 girls and 1 boy. There's 3 people that went in to the sane asylum right when we were coming out, so we had to duck in a bush. Me, Sam, and Nick.
All right, hold on a second. I just want to point something out. How, I don't know what he was trying to say there, but how do you tuck underneath the grass? Like in the bushes, whatever, underneath the grass, that's kind of, I don't know, whatever. Let's go back to it.
Go on one side and Colby went ahead.
Were they security or were they just people? It was 2 girls and 1 guy. It was just people. Okay.
We were pretty sure they weren't security, but we did not want to take the chance and find out. So we tried to make our way as fast as we could back to the main road to escape. As we were making our way through the forest to the road, we heard a search helicopter right overhead with the spotlight on. And keep in mind, we were in the middle of nowhere, so they were definitely searching for something.
Helicopter light! Helicopter light! Helicopter light! Yo, put your lights up! There's a helicopter and it has searchlights.
Okay, so I'm going to say again, I'm going to show you where they were. There was a little bit of woods there, but they're definitely not in the middle of nowhere. Like that's just, they're not. There's a highway, there's a damn military base, you know, like 3 minutes away from there. And I'm going to show you all of those things. Again, with the dramatics, you know, they have to do that for their video, you know, so people will watch it and people will feel sorry for them and, oh Lord, they're in danger and you guys are crazy for doing this. And, you know, we're going to continue to watch your videos to see what other crazy shit you're going to do after that.
So we kept on running. We were running and running through the dark forest, not really knowing exactly where we were going. And even at one point, we all almost set off a tripwire that we all barely jumped over.
Go, 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 go! Tripwire! Oh, tripwire, 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 tripwire! Oh, so that, dude, is what we were looking for.
We all barely jumped over.
All right, so I don't know if that was a tripwire or not. It just looks like some kind of wire that was laid across the ground. It looked like it was connected to a tree. I'm not sure if that's what that was. It could have been. It might not have been. I don't really know. I don't know. I think it's funny that they point that out and they call it a tripwire. I just don't see why anybody would put a damn tripwire out there in those woods. It doesn't make any sense to me. But, hey, I could be wrong. I'm not here to say that they're lying.
Over it, we still don't know to this day what would have happened if we would have tripped that wire off.
And now this is where the story gets dark and the dots start to connect. As we're running through the forest, we hear a shriek, a bone-chilling scream come from the direction of the insane asylum. It sounded like whoever was screaming was calling for help, crying for help.
Guys, what the f***? Do you hear that? Yeah, get out of here! Go! Guys, run!
All right, so there's your scream. I don't know if that's a real scream. I don't know if that was an overlaid sound. It's not really relevant to the story. Well, kind of it is, I guess, but I don't know. I'm not here to say they're lying. I'm not here to say they aren't lying. I'm not sure. You know, it could have been an overlaid sound. It could have been a real scream. Maybe there were some people in the woods playing and having a good time. It's not impossible. I have no idea.
I've never heard anything like it to this day.
We were all absolutely terrified. We were running from what we thought were the cops. Then we had a search helicopter over us, and then we hear this
You're not running from the cops.
Screams. We had no idea what was actually going on at the time, but we all decided collectively.
bone-chilling scream. Bruh. You're not running from the cops. The cops weren't chasing you. The helicopter search, or the search helicopter, was not looking for you. They probably weren't even looking for anyone in the area of that asylum at all. They just happened to cruise over that spot. Who knows? Like I said, I was standing outside of the Armory in Catonsville one time, and a search helicopter cruised right over top of the building, and a searchlight landed right on me. And I just looked up and waved, like, hi. You know, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, dramatics.
That the best thing to do would be to get out of there safely and then call the cops, because we did want to help, but we didn't really know what to do at the time. We were all just a bunch of kids that only had cameras, and we had no idea what was going to happen. So we made it out of the forest and ended up calling the cops and notifying them what happened.
After we notified the police on what we...
All right, so right there in that part, you saw a building. That's actually a place that has storage units. And when I start showing you some more of the details here at the end of this video, I'm going to show you that area in that storage unit, that storage place, so you can see exactly where they were. But let's continue with this and listen to what they have to say.
We just witnessed, we didn't think anything of it for years, until recently, when news came out and the dots started to be connected. That very night, a woman by the name of Laura Wallens was murdered at that exact location we were at in September of 2017.
Details of an ever-changing story are emerging in the murder of Columbia High School teacher Laura Wallen.
Laura Wallen.
Laura Wallen.
Laura Wallen.
In September of 2017, Laura Wallen had reportedly gone missing. Her boyfriend at the time, Tyler Tessier, was living a double life, as not only was he dating Laura, but he also had a fiance on the side. Tyler got Laura pregnant, and in fear of Laura exposing her pregnancy, Tyler decided to...
I also would like to point out, if none of y'all have noticed that at all, these guys are reading off a script. All this was written out as a script. I mean, I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but they're reading this stuff off of a script. And I mean, in this case, it kind of bugs me a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. I just wanted to point that out to y'all.
To do something about it.
On the night of her murder, Laura texted one of her friends for the very last time. In the text message, she said, "Tyler is taking me to this open field in the middle of nowhere," and she wasn't sure exactly why they were there. A few days after sending that text message, Laura's body was found.
This field in Montgomery County, where Laura Wallen, 4 months pregnant with Tessier's baby, was found in a shallow grave shot execution style in the head.
Years later, investigators put the pieces and the timeline together.
So, as you saw there in that little video clip, you're gonna understand why that's relevant here in a little bit. But just keep in mind, just remember that little video clip that you just saw.
Together and concluded that me, Nick, Sam, Colby, Laura, and Tyler were all there at the same place at the same time on that tragic night.
Me and Ricky,
No,
and
you
Sam
weren't.
and Kobe can probably all
You
agree
damn sure
we
weren't.
are forever grateful and lucky for making it out of that night safely. As for Laura and her family, we cannot imagine what it must be like to go through something like that.
Our heart goes out to you guys, and for anyone that is thinking about exploring somewhere, investigating something, going to somewhere abandoned, just be safe and be careful, because you don't know who's gonna be there, what's gonna be out there. So always take your time. Don't just go into things recklessly and without care, because things like this happen. Looking back, it's even scarier than it was in that moment for us, because we didn't realize how close our encounter with them almost was. And I wish we could have done something, but sometimes...
All right, so I want to point out that they're already contradicting themselves. The title of the video is "We Witnessed a Murder." Where in this video have they stated anything about witnessing a murder? Basically, what they're trying to say is they were in the area and nearby. And I'm going to prove to you that they weren't anywhere near that area. Actually, they were quite a bit distance away from it. But it's crazy to me that these clowns would use a murder of a pregnant school teacher to get clicks and views on their channels. You know, I mean, we're all out here looking for clicks and views, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. You know, we're all looking to get people to watch our videos. But I'll be damned if it's going to be cool with me to watch these two clowns use a fucking murder of a pregnant woman. She was 4 months pregnant when she was murdered. I'll be goddamned if I'm going to sit here and let these fucking clowns use that to get clicks and views on their channel. And I'm not breaking this. This isn't a breaking story. I'm not the one. I've read the comments on their videos. Or on their video. A few people already noticed it and pointed it out. Of course, those comments were completely ignored by them. So, you know, I mean, I kind of expected that. But we'll let this video play out. And then I'm going to come back and show you why and how they're full of shit.
Sometimes you just don't even know what's going on, or you're too young, or you're not sure. I would just urge you guys to be safe when you're doing something adventurous or exploring. Be safe. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
This is a absolutely disgusting, just fucking vile to do something like this. I don't understand it, but I'm going to show y'all proof that they're lying and they're full of shit. All right, so I said that I was going to show you why these guys are liars and full of shit. So let's start off with this. So right here is where you see is the storage area that they started off at. They started filming their video, and if you go and watch their videos, I'll put links in the description for it. You'll see they were somewhere in this area right here. They started to film. They made their way along the side of this building over here to this road, which is Old Portland Road. They made their way through the forest. But real quick, before I go and track them, I wanted to show y'all something. Fort Meade is right here. This is Fort Meade. So that's how close this place is. Laurel Fort Meade Road is a pretty big highway. I wouldn't say highway, but it's a very, very busy road. There's a lot of traffic on that road all day and time, or all night and day. So it wouldn't be uncommon to hear police sirens going down that road. So let's get back into it again. Like I was saying here, this is where they were, right here at that storage place. So they made their way down here. They crossed over this road. They went into the woods. They made their way through the woods. They came out to this road right here, which is the old road to get into the actual asylum. And they made their way into the asylum, which is right here. This is where they did their video. They ran around in here, blah, 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 whatever they did. They made their way back out. And then they came again through the woods, across this road, Old Portland Road again. Made their way back out to the storage facility. Now, why is it significant? Why am I pointing this out to you that this is where they were? So let's jump over here. So again, here's your Forest Haven. Here's your storage facility right here. So let's zoom out and let's see. According to documents, which I will get into here in a minute, this over here on this road right here, and I couldn't figure out exactly which one it was. I'm not 100% sure, but it was on in this area somewhere. I'm assuming it's probably somewhere in this area right here. This is where Laura Wallen was killed and buried at. So now you say, well, what's the significance of that? So here's the significance. As you'll notice, it's 45 miles away from where these two fucking clowns claim that they heard her screams and witnessed a fucking murder, her murder. They're full of shit. 45 miles. There's absolutely no fucking way. They're lying. It's all about those clicks and views, people. all about the clicks and views, and it's bullshit. And I'm showing you right here that they're lying. Now, I don't want you to go to their channel and give them hate and call them a bunch of bullshit and say lie, you know, call them names and all that stuff. If you want to go over there and question them and say, hey, man, you guys are lying, I'm okay with that. They need to be called out. But don't go over there. Don't give them hate. Don't tell them Ghosts or Dave sent you over here, you know, to be mean and angry and all that stuff to them. Let me be mean and angry because it's fucking bullshit. A person died. A person was murdered. And they're using that shit for fucking clicks and views. And now you're going to sit here and you're going to say, well, what do you have the basis to show that? Well, I'm about to show you that as well. So shout out to Tammy for helping me out with some research here. So what you got right here is the arrest warrant for Tyler Tessier. And so we're not going to read all of it, but we are going to go down here. We're going to skim through it, and we're going to look for where they mention the address of where she was found. On September 13th, 2017, Montgomery County police officers executed a search warrant at Price's Distillery Road. That is where she was found at. It says that the location is the residence of, and they redacted that, whom Tessier has described to investigators as a close friend. The residence is a farm surrounding area of many acres, which you saw in the photograph. So basically, that's where she was found at. During the execution of a search warrant, the Montgomery County Police search and rescue, along with cadaver dogs, searched the property. Members of the search team located a freshly dug area of the ground in a secluded part of a field on or adjacent to this property. Multiple cadaver dogs giving indication of the odor of human decomp in the area. The disturbed area of the ground was approximately 10 by 10. Protruding from the disturbed area in plain view was a purple piece of fabric. It should be noted that during an interview with Tessier, he described Wallen as wearing a purple shawl or vest the last time he saw her. Okay, so there you go. That's where she was discovered at. So now we're going to jump over to here, and we're going to look at some photos. So this is a picture of the area where she was found. And here is a picture of the ground with the purple fabric. There it is. How much more do y'all need? I mean, how much more do I need to show you? Like, it's right there. These guys lied. So they're full of shit, man. And they used this woman's murder to get clicks and views on their channel. And not only did they do that, but the original videos were filmed 7 fucking years ago. And now you're going to come back a year later, or a year ago, 6 years later, and do another video to bring more back to it. And they're going to lie about it and say that they were contacted by detectives that said that, oh, you guys were all there at the same time. They're lying. They didn't call the police that night. I guarantee you they didn't call the damn police. There was no reason for them to call the police. They can say whatever they want to say, but they're lying. And I'm not hating on Sam and Colby because I don't believe that they said anything about this at all. I don't believe they've commented on it. I don't believe they went with the story. I believe they just left it alone. So I'm not hating on them for it. But these Ireland boys, they're liars. They're full of shit. And they used that video to get, or that murder to get clicks and views on their channel. However, 5 million subscribers. Y'all should be damned ashamed of yourselves. And I hope you see this video. I hope you watch this video because that's just fucking foul and evil to do that. But anyway, that's the video, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you like what you see, sorry, I'm a little irritated. If you like what you see, drop a comment below, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell because as you know, every time it rings, a fake paranormal channel cries. I love y'all, man. I see y'all on the next one. That's how we do it, people.